Hey there, game gurus. Welcome back to the channel. What I have right here is the original GRS push-pull spinner, the arcade spinner TSDOT SP01. This spinner right here is a buttonhole spinner similar to the other one I posted the other day, but this one has the push and pull function for games like, Tron. Unfortunately, this turned out not to be fully compatible with the Arcade1UP TRON unit, so we have come out with a new version right here called the TSDOT02. Small number change, new features. So once again, this is a Hall effect spinner for left and right movement. It has push and pull functions. Now, in the original version of this, the push and pull were left and right mouse click, which wasn't really supported with the Arcade1UP. So we've made some modifications, and you can now make it to use a regular encoder board to act in the same simple functions. But I'll go over in a little bit. This also supports an application, which we did with our spinner as well, the version 2 the version 2 standard spinner. But the application will give you some additional functionality, changing the resolution of the device and adding some other things we'll go over a little bit later in the video. But let's take a look at see what the TSDOT02 GRS arcade push-pull spinner has. Let's open up the box right here. And of course, it's all about the box for me. I love the boxes. We try to put some thought and design and making a nice experience taking the device out of here. And of course, one of the first things you'll see here is a little welcome card I have right here thanking you for your purchase. We'll put that aside in a second. So we can see you have some items in the box right here. Let me pull this aside for a second, get that out of the way. So the items we have in right here, we have our two 1 million press buttons. They do have gold contacts on these right here. We have our spinner top, and the spinner top is molded after the Tron spinner top. It's compatible with the other spinner tops for my push-pull spinner. Put that aside for a second. And of course, we have our version 2 of our Hall effect spinner right here. Spins, of course, push in, pull. We have connectors here for the USB and our buttons right here. And this one has some additional features inside, which I'll go over in a moment. Put that aside here. Try and pull out our buttons here real quick. Just for taking everything out of the box, show you everything that you get. So it's a standard button in red. Of course, we have to have one in black, like so. Here's where some of the magic is. We'll take some of these things out for a second. I'm going to pull the box aside here for a moment. So inside here, we're going to have pretty much everything that we're going to need to make this thing work. Let's just take it out of here for a second. But sometimes not the easiest thing to do and get out of these bags, but I'll get it out. There we go. Take it out of the bag. So we have our wrench here for our spinner top, because there's no sense looking for tools. We include everything you pretty much need here. So when you take out your top and you mount it onto your push-pull spinner, there's a hex nut right there. Just take your hex wrench right here, tie it down. You can see you can spin it, you can push, you can also pull. Okay, so put that aside for a second. Now inside here, these here are for your two buttons right here. So you can connect them and have extra fire buttons. You only see one button here because the other button, there we go. Two buttons and a wiring diagram. It's hard working upside down. We have right here is our USB connector right here. So this will go to the bottom of your spinner like so. It's got a key in it, so it only goes in one way. And there is your USB on there. Now we have an interface cable here as well, which will go over some of this in just a moment, because we need this little guy right here. And this little guy right here is what will make this not only have left and right clicks of a mouse, but when you connect this, you'll be able to use it like a regular encoder board to have additional functionality. So let me pull these things. I can go a little further up top here so you guys can make sure you see everything. So we'll take this out for a second here. These bags are always fun. Oh my goodness. Sometimes they're too much fun. All right, there we go. It's just an anti-static bag. So what this little board is going to do, this is the board that'll be required to work in the Arcade1UP. This will take the mouse buttons on here and convert them to a standard encoder board. I'm trying to find what I did with my encoder board. I've been trying to do some cleaning up around here, and I move things around. Now I'm trying to find out where I put them. I guess we'll find the encoder board in a minute. But basically what you're going to do here, if you look at this right here, you have two different connectors on here. This connector is going to go like so. going to open this up. We'll take this thing off right here. So again, this will give you the ability to use the spinner with standard encoder boards. Right now, like I said, there would be a standard left and right mouse click. We're going to kind of change that a little bit over here. So we see we have everything marked. We have the pull signal and push signal. If I can get this out of here. So this will go to your encoder board. This will be your pull signal and your push signal. Then we have our P2 and P1. So this is going to pull out of here. And it's not going to go into your encoder board like so. So now this will go to your computer, goes to the encoder board. Then you have these two guys right here. Now goes to here and here. Make sure they again are keyed. They want to go in one way. Okay, I had to find it. I had it in the other room. This is just an inexpensive zero delay encoder board right here, and USB. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to treat this as if this was the Arcade1UP TRON unit, and we have our pull and push signals, which I'll put in here like so. And then we're going to connect these up to the computer. Now on the Arcade1UP, when you would connect this to your motherboard, there's a USB-A on the motherboard right there. This will go into there for your spinner functions, and these will go to your push and pull on the connector board of the Arcade1UP. So I'm just going to put these guys in here like so, into my computer. Okay, so right now I have the GRS version 2 spinner connected. You can see if I move my spinner, I have the trails on just so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Moves down a little bit here. But you can see it moves left and right with the Hall effect spinner. It's got a good movement on it. And right now it's set up as a mouse. So if I was to press down, or maybe pull up, let's see, there we go. It'll bring up a menu. I can select it with pushing down type of thing. Make a new folder, stuff like that. So that's right now in mouse mode. Now, right now you see on the controller, it doesn't really see anything on it per se. I do have a gamepad, which I better disconnect that gamepad. Let's take that out. Is that plugged in? It is not. Good. All right, so I'm going to launch the T-Sticks application here. Take a second for that to load up. Okay, so this is the GRS spinner configuration tool. This was also the same tool you would download for the version 2 standard spinner. And it gives you some additional options. Like right now, let me move the spinner down a little bit right here. You can see, if I start at the edge here, and I do one rotation spin on it, I go that far. You can see the resolution right now is set to 360 CPI. We could change that, 720. Just hit apply. It says it was successful. So I'll do that same test I did before, and we'll just spin it one time. You can see I went much further on the screen, and we can now go to the highest setting of 1440, hit apply on that, and we'll do the same test. I'll do one spin. You can see I pretty much almost went around the entire screen with that. So that's one thing you could do. You could change, the CPI on there for the games. Again, this can also be done in the MAME or your emulator menu, but you may want to do it through an application as well. Have more options to change it. Now, another thing we could do, see right now I'm going to left and right. I'm on the X-axis. I can go up on here and change this to the Y-axis, hit apply. And now it's going in the up and down on there. So again, just different options on here you can do. And I'm sorry if I have these. I have so many monitors around here. It's a bit of a mess, but you get the gist of it. So we have our up and down for X and Y. We could go back to factory defaults. Boom. And now it's back to left and right. And if it didn't find your spinner for some reason, you can always scan. And it'll tell you connection was succeeded, so it found it. Now, the new thing here for this particular spinner is right now, again, this is set up as a mouse function right now. If I go down again, you can see, if I push or pull, I bring up the menu as a mouse would with different clicks. We don't want that. We actually want to go and see what else is going on here. Okay, so I had a little problem there. I wasn't getting power to my USB encoder. I'm going to put this over here so you can kind of see it a little bit better. There we go. So you can see that a little red light on, so I got power. Now, right now, if I do something, I'm not going to notice anything. But I'm going to go to this right here and go to Properties. Okay, let's move this over here so you can kind of see it. So I'm going to do a factory reset on this right now. And first thing you want to do is calibrate it. The spinner with the push-pull, you want to make sure it's all calibrated. So hit the start calibration right here. and you're going to just press down and pull up. Press down and pull up. And that's it. You're going to apply these settings. Okay, so we did the enable on there. And now if you press down, you can see I have it set into the encoder here in pin 10. And you can see that. And when I pull, it's pin 7. So it's now acting through the physical switches here on an encoder board, which we would need for the Arcade1UP TRON. Now, the one thing you'll also need to make this work in an Arcade1UP TRON unit is we'll make these available as an ST file, because to make the buttonhole spinner fit in a TRON unit, you're going to need one of these. It's basically going to let you take these push-pull spinner, put it inside here, and lock it in place, and you can then put this inside the Arcade1UP TRON. But that's really it. To be able to use the spinner with a 0 encoder board, see, pushing and pulling, works just fine. And of course, if you want to turn it back to mouse buttons, you can just turn this thing off, disable it, apply, and now you're back to actual mouse buttons. Let me go down here so you can kind of see. Push it or pull it. Oh, did I apply it? I have to make sure you apply. Bink. There we go. Push and pull. There we go. So that's it. So the version 2 will include pretty much everything here. This will not be included. This will put on, I don't know, Thingiverse, something like that. You can download it. It's just an STL file. I did mine in clear, and I put LEDs down here so it lights up on the bottom. That's really it. Everything you need is included in the kit to make this work. All right, well, that's it for this video. Once again, everything here is included in the kit, unless you have the Arcade1UP TRON, in which case you will need the STL file to make it mount in their machine. You can, of course, make your own if you wanted to, but we'll have one available. I'll put a link down below once that STL file is uploaded to where you can download it. Again, I used clear PLA, so I can put LEDs from underneath to make it shine through. It looks really, really good. And also put a link down below to where you can purchase this. It is available right now, the T-Sticks GRS push-pull spinner version 2.0. It does include, of course, the world's best Hall effect spinner that has push-pull functions as a mouse, or now it's able to work with an encoder board or an Arcade1UP board. The spinner top, all the wiring needed, and the hex wrench to lock it in place. So that's it. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and like and share. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really does help out my channel. I really do appreciate it. But again, no matter what you do with your time or how you play your games, just remember to tell your family and friends that you love them. And remember, most of all, to game on.